How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Comerica Park. It's Detroit Tigers opening day, the home opener for the Tigers. I'm Evan Petzold, the Tigers beat writer, with Shawn Windsor and Carlos Monarrez. And yeah, guys, it's opening day in Detroit. It's an awesome experience, kind of like a holiday down here, isn't it?
It's crazy. A colleague of ours, actually, Bryce, this is terrible, his last name escaped me. He does the Business Pulse podcast with Amari St. Gopher. I was at the business game the other night, and he was coming in from Kansas, and he's been in, 10 Uber rides since he's been here in Detroit. And every Uber driver, he said, this is no exaggeration, wanted to know if he was going to stay until the day to experience opening day, because they all think there's nothing else like it anywhere in the country. I don't know if that's true. I've been to opening days all over around the country, but it is a little bit different. AJ Hinch just told us before this video right here, right? That it's unmatched. What's your guys' sense?
I want to congratulate you, Shawn, for working basketball into a home opener Tigers baseball video.
The fans care about everything here. They're not like you. They're not transplants from California that only care about hockey. The people we're talking to love all these Detroit teams. So no, seriously though, what makes this different?
I think for me, I was at dinner last night, Mama Maria's house in downtown Detroit here. It's actually on Kirchhoff, and I was there, and the guy that was working, he said, "Hey, you going to opening day tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'll be there." I didn't explain why I would be there, but he's just kind of talking about it like it's a holiday, like it's something different than any other day. Maybe it's an excuse to drink, I don't know, but
of course it is.
I mean, right. But also, I think there is a good vibe. But baseball's back, summer's back. We're finally getting back into the swing of nicer weather. I don't have a huge coat on anymore now that winter has passed. So I think some of that vibe kind of filters into opening day, and it's always good to see baseball back. It means summer's around the corner.
Yeah, we talked to Miguel Cabrera a little bit in the clubhouse in the morning, and he definitely understands. He understands what it means to the fans. It's a special day. Riley Green, we talked to him, and he wasn't here for opening day last year because he had an injury, a foot injury, I believe. So it's his first one. He doesn't quite understand yet the celebration levels outside of the stadium. I'm sure he'll get a better sense of it as he gets a little bit older, but you can see he was excited to be here and playing in front of their home fans for the first game of the season. So, especially coming off a good trip in Houston. So, hopes are high, spirits are high.
No, for sure. And I think, too, his buddy Spencer Torkelson got to experience opening day last year here in Detroit, so he knows a little bit about what it's all about. Those guys are hitting 3-4 in the lineup today. And that's kind of what you dreamed on if you're a Tigers fan, right? If you dreamed of those two prospects coming in since the day they were drafted, hitting back-to-back in the lineup. They looked really good in Houston. Tigers won 2 of 3 there. So they're sitting at 2-4 on the season coming into this game. And it all really does depend on the young players and their performance this season. I think that's the thing to watch is what can Riley Green do? What can Spencer Torkelson do? And then how can they be supported by guys like Austin Meadows and Javier Baez in that lineup?
And then what happens when the young pitchers eventually come back?
Yep.
At some point they will come back.
At some point, Tarek Skubal is going to be back. Casey Mize might not be till next year, but
we say this in every sport. It's just about the hope. Carlos doesn't really like hope or buy into hope, but that's all they want, right? I mean, that's why I think Hinch was asking about Green and Torkelson and see him in the lineup spot at 3 and 4. That's what people want. They want a future of some kind. Right? They can live with a difficult present as long as they think there's something else out there.
As long as you're seeing signs, right? And that's exactly what they didn't show last year. It was just uncompetitive at bats, kind of top to down all season last year. A lot of injuries. Nobody was able to stay healthy. Guys like Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson came up. Torkelson couldn't hit a fastball last year. Looks a lot different this year. He's getting on fastballs. Riley Green, on the other hand, someone who came up, and he was up and down. He kind of went through his growing pains, but I thought he came out and produced pretty well last year, and he's going to look to bounce back and keep it up this year and kind of take it to that next level. So yeah, I mean, when you're seeing encouraging signs on the field and you're seeing performances that make you think maybe there is something here, maybe there is something to think about in a year or 2 years down the road, you feel good about that, and that's all anybody really wants to see. They didn't show it all in Tampa, and they went to Houston and it looked a lot better.
Just let's keep a little perspective. And Shawn Windsor, merchant of hope. This is where he traffics. So hope is a great thing, but let's be realistic, because in Tampa it was terrible. It was horrible, a faceplant. And then we go to Houston, and then I guess the World Series bound after they beat our great colleague Jeff Seidel.
Look who it is.
Just walked in with his sunglasses.
World beaters over here. You're bringing the good vibes in, obviously, but it's going to be up and down, right?
He traffics it. He likes hope too. So it's 3 against 1. He likes the future, right?
Yeah, everybody likes the future, but you got to be realistic. It's not going to be winning, winning every series, especially against really good teams like the Astros. So they may not do that.
4 a.m. wake up call.
Let's ask Jeff this
3
question.
a.m.
You guys can pitch it too. Where's the drunker crowd? Opening day for Tigers or the Lions?
Oh, Tigers for sure.
Tigers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Lions?
There's a like baseline of like imbibing a little too much with the Lions, but it's home opener.
This is the drunkest day of the year? Down here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be. Yeah.
I think so.
When you're tripping over people on the sidewalk, it's pretty bad.
Right.
But we're having fun.
Hey, real quick, Jeff thankfully gave me a couple days off coming off of spring training. Went to go see the kids play in Houston.
You got your tux?
I did. Yeah, I got my tux. I met with the pastor, did some premarital stuff, so that all went really well. But you got to see Spencer Torkelson, Riley Green pop off in Houston. What was that like?
Torque hit like he hit during the spring. I mean, he's been hitting the ball since the first day of batting practice. Lighter bat. Right there.
Hitting fastballs and hitting them hard. I mean, that's
A
the
lot
name
of
of the
hard
game.
contact.
Did they talk about that they were prompted to do better because someone wrote a column in the Free Press saying it was a sad reminder of what they did in Tampa from last year, where they're like, we're going to show Evan Petzold what we're all about?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That's what happened.
I went and talked to him a bunch of days. I said, hey, look, if I'm going to write that about how you guys played in Tampa, I got to write something good about how you guys played in Houston. So another one of those stories coming out soon, maybe a tale of two series there, just in the sense of, what is this team? What can this team be? And I think we saw probably the best that they could be in Houston and maybe the worst that they could be in Tampa. It's kind of interesting back-to-back series that way, but we'll see what they can do here in Boston against Boston.
One of the things that became really clear in Houston was the bullpen. It was like Engler's coming out in a key spot or this or that. The bullpen to me is going to be really interesting.
It's going to be interesting to see how they can mix and match different guys because you don't have the star power, let's just say, or the big arms and Andrew Chafin and Gregory Soto and Michael Fulmer and I mean the list goes on and on of guys, and Joe Jimenez as well. The list goes on and on of guys that they've traded or not brought back, and so it's going to be a lot of mix and matching, kind of mismatched parts and trying to make them fit. That's AJ Hinch's specialty. We know what Chris Vedder can do, but the question really comes down to, did Scott Harris give him enough to work with in the bullpen? I think that's the big question.
And one of the more interesting things he said over the last couple of days was how he's building the bullpen. Normally you think of a closer, ninth inning, 8th inning, 7th inning. I know he doesn't like to name a closer, but he's legit thinking, I just have to live for the moment. He's not even thinking the 9th inning anymore.
We saw Garrett Hill get a save.
Yes.
Garrett Hill got a save against the Astros in extra innings, and Trey Wingenter pitched out of the 9th inning against the Astros. Trey Wingenter is a guy who hasn't pitched in the big league since 2019 until this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how they juggle that and try to make it fit and use the matchups to their advantages too.
As well as the lineups and the way he's going to be just moving people all over.
Yep.
My last question is, do you guys enjoy the shorter games?
Oh yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say, well, I feel like it's baseball from when I was young, right?
Yeah.
Which Carlson and I talked about this the other day. But that's obviously it's fun for you.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's spring training. Games were ending quick, and I was able to get game stories filed, and was able to get back home and get some food in me, and then kind of get going on whatever else I was working on.
But for fans at home too, right?
For fans at home too, though, the game moves so quick. I think for some like more traditional fans who've been around, I know my dad, said, hey, it doesn't really feel like baseball. I said, just wait, give it a little bit, it'll set in, and you'll start to just kind of like get used to it, right? I think that's just kind of how this game works. We've seen rule changes throughout the sport. Especially a lot recently, last 3-4 years with some different rules that they've been implementing, and no one's really complaining about rules that they implemented, a few years ago. You get used to it, and it becomes normal. So I think it'll definitely hurt beer sales at the ballpark, but I think
they'll have to concede some concessions for sure.
But I think for fan experience, it's a good thing, and it's good to watch it at home too.
Somebody made a good point. It's still the same amount of baseball on the field. You're just not getting as much standing out and scratching.
Yeah,
It's
and walking around the mound and stepping off and readjusting the batting gloves and all that kind of stuff is extra at the end of the day.
Plus your dad should be old enough to remember when he was young. This is how long the games lasted.
Oh yeah.
Right?
He's just like 25.
He's
What are you
just
talking
forgotten.
about?
Stop it. He's in his 50s now. Calm down.
A couple tiny tweaks, like how much time it's going to take to make a decision on replay. That could be tweaked a little bit.
Yeah.
And also I wondered about playoff baseball. I like how playoff baseball.
That moment building. Yeah, we'll see how that is. But anyway, I think that's it for us today. Opening day here at Comerica Park, home opener for the Tigers against the Red Sox, starting off at 1 o'clock. Spencer Turnbull on the mound. You can stick with us at freak.com and read all of our stuff from the past and spring training, and today and into the future. We'll be with you all season long. Thanks, guys.